though. Alrighty, so this is something new for the channel. Instead of doing playthroughs and then doing a review of the playthroughs, I thought of checking out all the games, or as many of the games as I felt were interesting, for the December game releases. So we're going to go through a bunch of different games, a bunch of different releases, chat about it, and if anyone in the chat wants to share their thoughts on any of the games or any of the stuff talking about, you can talk about it in the chat there, and it's going to pop up live. So if you're also watching this on YouTube, I'm going to try and highlight it and all the different parts of it and put it on YouTube. So click like if you want, leave a comment there, what you think about all these games or whatnot, and what do you think about the December releases in the comment section. Hit subscribe, and if you're watching on Twitch, hit follow and or leave a comment and all that jazz. You're going to be hearing a little bell because it is almost Christmas time. Golly gosh. All right, so let's just jump on into it. The first thing we're going to review is a PlayStation Classic. So I was looking at this for $100. There is 20 preloaded games, and you know, it looks interesting, but there's something I'll get to at the end that just makes me very disconcerted about this game, and I have heard some rumors that we'll talk about. So to start off, let's watch the trailer and then talk about the trailer here. So 20 preloaded games. Got Grand Theft Auto, the original. Now, this game, I remember my brother's friend. My brother's 7 years older than me, so his friend's 7 years older than me. He had a laptop back in the day, because he used to work at Microsoft and stuff, so he always had, like, tech and stuff. And he had a laptop, and it had Grand Theft Auto on it, and also had Doom on it. That was, like, the first time I played those. It was the first time I used a laptop. It was, like, one of the laptops that had that, like, felt joystick in the center of it. It was so cool. And I played the poop out of this game. So seeing this is kind of excited. That's on PlayStation Classic, but I actually did not know that this game was on the PlayStation. I really didn't. I thought it was only on PC, so it's kind of a surprise to me. Battle Arena to Shondin, Ridge Racer 4. Let's just turn that music down because I don't know if I'm going to get dinged for copyright with that. Twisted Metal. Now, this one is exciting. This is a game that I've actually hoped would actually get, like, a legitimate new release, like, nowadays. I think it would be so much fun. The only downside is I think a game like this wouldn't get the same amount of money behind it, and you would get something more akin to, like, an indie game, and it probably wouldn't look too wonderful, so people probably wouldn't play it as much. But if a game like Twisted Metal could get enough funding behind it to make, like, a legitimate, like, high-def, beautiful-looking game, I really think it would be so... I would play it so much. My brother and I used to play Twisted Metal all the time. I forget what car I used to play. I think it's actually this one right here. Yeah, with the gun, the homing missile on it. I used to try and play this one all the time. My brother would get mad. He'd be like, no, it's too strong. You have to play... He'd make me play, like, the cop car. Oh, what was it called? I can't remember. But this is exciting. I think this is... For PlayStation Classic, you have to have that game. You have to have Twisted Metal for PlayStation Classic. It's a must-have. It was one of the biggest games of that day, you know. Oddworld, I never played Oddworld back in the day. Siphon Filter, another game I didn't really play. Rayman, oh yeah, I played Rayman. I mean, when PlayStation originally came out, let's see, what's the original, let's say, PlayStation release date. Let's see, the original PlayStation, 1994. So I was 9 years old when the original came out. So I was still pretty young when it first came out. Tekken 3. I don't quite understand why Tekken 1 or 2 isn't in on it. I think 2 was kind of where it was at. They were in their, like, the great period. Tekken 3 kind of, I think, was a little bit of a downward step, but, you know, can't hate that. Rainbow Six. Oh, gosh. Played that a lot. Oh, my brother and I would try and beat it all the time. Cool Borders, too. I don't fully remember that. Final Fantasy 7. I was never too into Final Fantasies. Destruction Derby. Now, that was a game I played. Persona. Oh, yes. Persona 1 was, like, the game. That was such an amazing game. Don't remember Intelligent Cube. Resident Evil Director's Cut. All right. Director's Cut's not that bad. So what I've got four games here that like I'm like really excited about, and that's all their releases. So releasing 12/3/18 and you'll notice there's something missing from this picture here. But you're getting two controllers, you get in the system. That's not too bad. Two controllers in the system, and you getting some kind of cool games, but for what there is coming out on it, so I'm excited about Grand Theft Auto, Twisted Metal, well, Ridge Racer's not that bad. Not that many other games. Rayman is kind of cool, but I mean, I could just buy Rayman. Didn't they like just make a new one? Um, Destruction Derby I will play. So one, two, three, four, four games I'm kind of excited about. Tekken 3, like, I would be excited. Certain games like Tekken 3 would be cool if they had online, but this doesn't have online with it. Um, you're just kind of getting the game, and that's it. But something I did notice, like, you see, like, you get the HDMI out and power here, and then you get the two plugs for the controllers. So there's no internet with it, there's no online, which, is understandable, and that's okay. But then one thing I noticed, a compatible USB AC adapter not included. It's required to use this console. Use the AC adapter that supports, the voltage, type A output. That's where it kind of like... So I'm excited maybe 4 or 5 games for the PlayStation Classic. 4 or 5 games. For $100 just to enjoy PlayStation, like old school PlayStation games, that's not enough for me. If PlayStation did something where maybe it had online capabilities, or maybe it could connect to the PlayStation 4 for more capabilities to maybe play the old games, then okay, I'd be all for it. But for $99.99, I don't know. I don't think it is necessarily worth it. And then not getting the power plug too on top of it, I think it's a little bit ludicrous. Just a little bit. Teeny tiny bit. I mean, I could see spending maybe $60 for all of these games and the components. Because, I mean, really, making this PlayStation, probably maybe $5 per PlayStation to make this kind of, outer case here. And then what's inside of it is probably the equivalent of Raspberry Pi. It's nothing too stellar. And then onto rumors that I've heard. There have been some rumors that the games that are running on it are usually using an emulator that was used like way back in the day. I can't remember the name of it, but it was like not the good one. And supposedly a lot of these games run into a lot of issues and don't really run well. So then you think about what you're going to be utilizing this with. So in this day and age, it's often rare to have someone come over to play with you. So then you got to kind of knock out all the multiplayer games because they didn't really have that much of a storyline. So that takes out Twisted Metal, it takes out Tekken 3, it takes out Super Puzzle Fighter, takes out Ridge Racer Type 4. Well, Ridge Racer probably has a basic, mode there. Mr. Driller. There's a lot of games then you're kind of taking out because it doesn't have multiplayer. Destruction Derby. Who are you going to be fighting Ballerina Toshinden? If you have, like, this is the system, I think, if you have some friends coming over and you just want to have that niche experience of, reliving the old school graphics with the old school way of playing, corded, and it's just like a fun random experience. But as for a product that, you're going to be utilizing a lot, I don't see it being this. I mean, nowadays you can make a portable that'll run all of this. You can run all these games on a cell phone if you wanted to. So why you got to spend $100 plus tax or, $108, on something like this? I mean, you're spending over half of what some of the real deal consoles were going for with the Black Friday sales. I mean, you can get a PlayStation 4 and an Xbox One S for $200. Now, granted, they're not the most powerful, but you know what? They're going to run a whole lot more stuff than this thing is, since it's only capped at those 20 games. So why is it costing $100? Like, if they're selling the new age consoles for 200, why does this cost 100? So to me, it's kind of just a money grab. And then to not even give you the power components that you need to even turn the thing on. So how much is that going to cost? Maybe another $5-10 on top of it. So $120 ish. You know, $80 more, get yourself a PlayStation 4 or get yourself an Xbox One S, or, you know, add on another 180 and get yourself a Switch, and then you're playing games anywhere. You know, like, it just, to me, doesn't make sense. You know, that's why I want to start off with the review with this one. A nice kind of fail on the gaming side of the world. That's my thoughts on PlayStation Classic. If you agree, click like, leave a comment. What do you think of PlayStation Classic? It comes out tomorrow, so let me know if you get this tomorrow. I'll probably be posting this on YouTube tomorrow. I'm kind of curious. How does it run? Let me know. I really want to know. I'm really curious. But yeah, that's all I kind of have to say about PlayStation Classic. For a December release, I think $99.99. These classic systems really need to either stop or become much better than they are, because the costs that they have, I can't see why you can't have a Wi-Fi component on it and have maybe an expandable memory and sell more games and add more games. Like the Switch has the Nintendo experience or whatnot, whatever it's called, where you can play a lot of the old games, and they're slowly adding more and more games to it as long as you have the Nintendo Online. But it's kind of like blah. And then the other systems, I mean, PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 are such iconic systems. I think it's an absolute shame that these game companies don't license out the old games and re-release them. You know, this day and age, $3, $5, why not just put them out there and have everyone playing those old games? It'll give a chance to give, I think, companies that have made a lot of these old games, like maybe Twisted Metal, you know, maybe if you give them a chance to make a nice influx of money, they'll make enough money to make a legitimate new Twisted Metal release. Now, you don't have to spend $20 or charge $20 for these games, but, you know, charge like $5 for, like, the Twisted Metal original, put it on the PlayStation Store for the PlayStation 4 or whatnot, and give that company a nice little handout a little bit. It'll make your game systems have way more game releases, because all of these old games that maybe aren't continuing to work or have gone under or whatnot, I guarantee you would chomp at the bit, or you can even get a new company to continue it just to get a chance to make another game. And then you're making a ton more games, and then you're making a ton more money, and then a ton more people want to have the consoles again instead of having maybe the PC or whatnot. You know, if you imagine if the console had all of a sudden now a huge influx of PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 games coming onto the market, you know, people will be playing so many more games. Like, and I think that's what the gaming world needs, is the fact that the gaming history disappears so easily and then gets hidden behind paywalls and all these just kind of vile practices to kind of get you away from your money as much as possible, instead of just offering you a vast plethora of gaming experiences, you know, is where it fails. You know, charge a small amount, $5 for these games. Just, you know, most of these games run on emulators right now anyway, and they run okay. You could get a very small team together and just to kind of make it run better on the emulator, fix it up a little bit, you know, and just pop them out there, and they would probably make it so much more money. I don't understand it. But then they do something like this where you're only getting 20, and it says preloaded games. So what does that mean? Is it expandable? Are they adding more games in the future? It doesn't even tell you the tech specs of this product. So, preloaded games, as if you could put in more. I don't think you can. I don't think you will be. You know, it should just say, it has 20 games on it. Would you spend $100 for 20 games from PlayStation 1 days? Would you? 100? Well, technically 120, because then you gotta get the charging cable and everything. You know, when you think about it that way, and then the majority of them are kind of just like throwaway games that should only cost maybe $1, you know, it's kind of like, oh, there's no point. There's no point for this. This was a money grab. Screw you, PlayStation. I don't know. That's my thoughts on it. My rant on PlayStation Classic is over. Let's move on to the next December game of the month here.